Are you going to see the new Black Panther movie?
I don't know, man. I honestly, I didn't even know it was really coming out. They haven't marketed very well, at least maybe
No, you're
not
right.
to
No,
my
you're right.
I haven't really seen much about it. Honestly, I feel I don't know how y'all feel about it because when there's like a star of a movie and they die, right? And then they try to do a sequel without them, I know they're trying to like honor and respect them, but it just doesn't feel the same, right? I liked the first Black Panther movie. I thought it was really well done. And I like what's the guy's name?
Chadwick Boseman.
Yeah, Boseman. Um, I mean, honestly, I would have just been like, hey, let it rest with that. Like, you know what I mean? He was on top. He was killing it. I would have said just, let it be. But maybe they do a good job with if they focus on the story, I think it will be good. But if they just try to make it an homage to him and not tell a good story, it might not be as good. I don't know. I don't know where they can take it. What do you do? The Black Panther's dead, right? Unless there's a new Black Panther. Who's the other guy? Michael B. Jordan? Was he in the other one? They might make him
Killmonger.
Yeah. So I don't know. I might see it when it comes out, like on streaming. I don't know if I'll go watch it. I just think Marvel as a franchise has really crapped the bed since Iron Man left. I think the Spider-Man movies were good. The new ones, I thought those were pretty good, but all their other spin-offs that they're doing, they just aren't working out, in my opinion. So I hope they don't screw this up with Black Panther, because I don't know what Black Panther means to the Black community. I know a lot of people really like it. I think there's a lot of cool Black superheroes besides the Black Panther. So I don't know. Are y'all going to go see it, or have you already seen it? Is it out yet?
Go ahead, Wayne.
No, it doesn't come out until November 11th, I believe. But
Okay.
I kind of feel the opposite of you, and that was the reason why I asked. Because I know you're a Marvel fan as well. But it was also because it just, outside of it not being, you don't see a lot of previews and commercials for it. It just doesn't look like it's going to be a good movie. And to which you said it's, they're going to pay like homage to Chadwick Boseman, but I don't feel like they should, because me and James were talking about this, and I was like, yo, they're creating a whole movie around an actor's death, not like they've taken a Marvel character and killed him because the actor that played him once has passed away. Now I understand that you're taking a little bit out when you recast, but it's a recast. You got to recast. That's how I feel. I feel like it should have been recast. I feel like the movie is going to open at the death of, or the funeral of Black Panther, because that's the only way it makes sense if we know he's dead already, right?
Mm-hmm.
It makes Black Panther look weak because, he's dead. They killed him and nobody even saw him die. You know what I mean? And then there's, and this was one thing in the movie where I see in the previews where it's like one of the queens are like, show them who we are, show them who we made of. And I'm like, yo, you're Wakanda. What are you talking about? You create vibranium. At the end of the first movie, like the whole world came to you for help. Why do you have to show them who you are? Like, no, fuck that. It doesn't matter if our superhero or whoever our king died. Like, we could replace that. We don't have to prove to y'all came to us. Like, we were hidden. Like, y'all had to go like deep in the water and open up a. No, I was gonna say they already did set it up for the Black Panther. It's like Batman, right? Like anybody can be Batman, right. Because Black Panther took the job from his father, right? His father was the king and it was the Black Panther, and then it got passed on. So they could have easily, you're right, recast and just said, because he die in Endgame, right? He got his father
poofed. All right, so they could have played off that time. Not the father, but the Black Panther
snapped.
died in. He got snapped and turned to dust. So I think they could. I think you're right. If they had recast it as just a new Black Panther and just kind of rebranded, maybe kept the same old characters. Maybe a new guy comes in, like a long lost cousin or a brother or something.
Right.
That could be the Black Panther. That could be that would work. But if they're just gonna if they're just going to say, okay, he's dead, now we're going to move on, well, then why call it Black Panther 2? Why not call it like the Chronicles of Wakanda or something like that? Like, that would be cool. You could do a whole Wakanda series without the Black Panther, but if you're going to call it Black Panther, I think they need to bring in a new Black Panther.
Gotcha. Yeah, I agree.
And a little homage to the character and the actor, I think that's okay. Like one at the beginning, like maybe a funeral or something. I think that would be all right. But I do think if they just keep moving on without addressing it or getting a new Black Panther, it might be weird.
Right.
So I think we're on the same page.
All right. So the problem is, in my personal opinion, with the upcoming Black Panther movie is that Chadwick Boseman dying really kind of fucked up the next like 5 years of Marvel. Because he was supposed to be, after, Iron Man died, he was supposed to be the minority hire, right? He was supposed to take over and become the head of the new Avengers. And him passing, which when you saw him pass, like Marvel CEO and shit, they ain't know. They couldn't believe he had cancer. It fucked them up bad. So now it looks like it's going to be his sister. Because if you look at the new Black Panther in the trailer, she got tits. So unless, this Black Panther.
And her ears are kind of like further apart.
Yeah, she's like a lady. Right.
Yeah.
So she got boobies.
I'm okay with that.
Me too, but
I love Catwoman,
It wasn't supposed to be this way. See, Wayne thinks wait.
Okay, all right, yeah. I thought
because remember we already had a whole episode for this. So like Wayne thinks it's a little bit too easy. It's like, oh, we're just gonna have her do it. But you remember she had problems with COVID, so they couldn't shoot the movie. So she was like, fuck that, I ain't getting no vaccine. And then like, she had other issues with the cast and shit. So it's just like, is she really gonna be here for the next like 10 years? That's the problem. Like, you can't, y'all motherfuckers trying to do movies for 10 years. And it's like, people going to die. People going to get old. People going to get fat. People going to, change their sexuality. Like all types of shit. Like you can't be planning out movies for the next 10 years. So, Like y'all motherfuckers need to get like 12-year-olds to be these superheroes and they can grow into it.
I think that's why they did good with the new Spider-Man. I think
he's young as fuck.
Yeah, dude, that kid is going to be the next Tom Cruise. I mean, he's already in like all these major movies. He's young. He's like 23, 24. He's got a whole career of shit ahead of him. I think they're going to make him like the next quote unquote Iron Man. Like when Iron Man they gave him the glasses, the supercomputer glasses. Yep. I was like, oh, that's it. He's going to be the new head of the Avengers. But then there's a whole copyright issue between Marvel and Sony with Spider-Man. So
that's why he can't be it. He was supposed, like you said, he would be a perfect person to slide in, but he can't because of Sony. Like we're not giving up the rights to Spider-Man. If you did that, that'd be fucking stupid. To the point where they like, well, shit, we're gonna do either Tobey Maguire or we're gonna do another Spider-Man in a different universe with the other dude. What's the other dude name? The tall
Andrew Garfield.
Thank you, Andrew Garfield. Everybody used to hate his ass. Now they love him. So, he might do another Spider-Man where he fighting like Venom and all that shit because they can't get Tom Holland. So my point is for one, Black Panther, like Chadwick Boseman dying fucked up Marvel. The whole plan going forward.
Yeah, they planned this shit out 20 years in advance.
Yeah, and he was supposed to be the head of it, which makes sense because Chadwick Boseman was supposed to be like one of the top artists in the next like 30 years. He was going to be the new, that new top black,
like actor. A Denzel.
Like a Denzel, or a Lawrence Fishburne and shit. He was supposed to do that, but now they don't have that anymore. So I don't know what the movie's going to be. I'm glad for Namor, the Submariner, but I feel like fans are going to look at this motherfucker and be like, well, don't we already got Aquaman in DC? Like, who the fuck is this motherfucker?
And the whole thing, wait, so is that the new bad guy?
Yeah, it's Namor.
Yeah.
Okay. He doesn't, okay. That's weird.
And so Namor the way that they doing it in Marvel is that Namor isn't truly from Atlantis. He's from the Aztec. He's an Aztec warrior.
Oh,
so technically you got like, this is another problem.
They got a Hispanic
Mexicans
dude
versus black people. Yes.
Oh yeah, dude. That's gonna cause some problems.
So damn, he's like half human, half whatever the fuck they are, Namor or Submariners or whatever. So, he has beef with them and he's been waiting for Black Panther to die. That's the whole setup for the movie. So he comes in, he floods Wakanda and take the vibranium and shit because supposedly they stole the vibranium from them motherfuckers. It's like a whole thing.
Right.
That's how it is in the comics. Okay. So it's like, I feel where Kyle is coming from and I know why Wayne feels like, I'm speaking for you, Wayne, let me know. Wayne feels like it'll probably be better if they just said, fuck it, Killmonger is Black Panther. But the problem is Killmonger will kill all white people and black people that don't fuck with.
But I told you how we can get around that. Man.
So Wayne, go ahead, Wayne. Tell them how you gonna get around Killmonger want to kill everybody.
Okay, so
that's not from Africa.
This is what I said. quick, real quick. First of all, I'm going to need like 3 hours. I'm going to need a 3-hour movie. All right. So my thing is, you could take Killmonger, you bring him back to life somehow. Black Panther is dead. Okay, yeah, he's not dead.
He's in this movie. Killmonger's in this movie, by the way, y'all. By the way,
okay,
just to mention.
Okay, yeah, I didn't know that.
He's in this
Thanks
movie.
for ruining it.
Yeah, I looked. They released the cast list and like the credits and shit, and he's in it. So I don't know what the fuck he's doing, but he's still alive up in that bitch. So
see, he needs to be Black Panther, man. So yeah, I just think they need to do something where they bring Killmonger in, have and rehabilitate him somehow, like have him
like
sit down with like some type of Wakandan therapist or something, and then not only that, you'll show Black people actually going to a therapist, and that'll be good to see on screen. But then like he'll have this internal fight, like James is saying, of do I want to be this king of Wakanda and help my people, or do I just want to kill white people because how I feel? And so he'll have to like have that internal struggle while he's, trying to get help and trying to be the king of Wakanda. And they're trying to trust him and he's trying to trust them. And, I think that would have been a better movie than, oh, let's just put the sister in it. Oh, let's just kill them all. You know what I mean? I don't know. Cause I feel like Michael B. Jordan could have held it down in place of, Boseman.
I mean, I think that there's a ton. I wish they would replace him, but to Kyle's point, and I ain't trying to be rude or anything, but I think we could have stopped at the first Black Panther, because you already got the warrior ladies and the general lady, the one with the bald head and shit. She's hella funny. Yeah. And she's already been in all the Avengers movies, so we don't need a new Black Panther movie. Just let's have her, and anybody can fight Namor. Fuck Namor. Like, no, I ain't trying to be ignorant. I know he's like the first like Mexican American or Mexican actor in Marvel and shit, but you could put him against anybody. Like, it's not like he OP. Like, he ain't. He could fight the new Captain America, which is also black. It's Anthony Mackie. Just have him fight Anthony Mackie.
That's right. That's right. That is the new Captain America.
Mexican war. Go ahead. You know what I mean? You have him fight him. That ain't no problem. You know what I mean? It's a ton of black people in Marvel. You can fuck them up. He can even fight Kamala Khan, Mrs. Marvel.
The young girl.
So, yeah, you can fight. That's a good matchup. But I feel like I'm going to watch the movie, honestly, because for the culture. I'm just being honest. I don't think it's going to be great. I don't fucking know. And it's two cultures I'm representing, Marvel and also, black people. So I need to watch it. But Kyle said it.
Yeah,
Wayne
you got to watch
it
at least just to be able to talk about
just to talk about
evaluate.
it. Both of you guys said it. Phase 4 has been trash. I don't give a fuck what nobody said.
Yeah, it hasn't been.
It's been piss poor. Like, did you watch who here watched She-Hulk?
No,
you didn't watch She-Hulk, Kyle?
Dude, I saw the trailer and I was like, "Oh, this is doo-doo dog shit. I'm not gonna watch it." Because I didn't even know it was a Marvel thing. I thought it was just about some lawyer being like a girl boss, and I had no idea that it was actually like a female Hulk, and it was in the Marvel universe. I had no idea based on the previews and the stuff that I watched. So I was like, "Oh, it's actually like a superhero thing." I had no idea just based on the previews.
I watched the whole thing.
Oh.
Godly. I watched it because I would say this is the benefit of this shit. Having a wife or significant other for everybody out there that's not in the comics at all. And the only reason why she watches is because of my goofy ass. You know what I'm saying? To her, this was a beautiful introduction point to it. Because it wasn't all superheroes and fighting and all that bullshit. She was sassy and she was having conversations and she got a job. And the most thing is really the whole show is about her being a lawyer for superheroes, which was cool because you got to see some very unknown super villains and that shit that had problems, like Frogman and shit like that.
Oh shit! Okay,
yeah, well, not the real Frogman, but like a fake version of Frogman. Yeah,
she's like a defense lawyer for the super villains. That's hilarious.
It's funny, so but I will say this, and I know this is crazy. I love Loki. I think Loki is the dopest show, cartoon character, superhero wise I've ever seen. She-Hulk is my second favorite.
Okay,
because end.
You said that. I might have to check it out. I actually haven't watched the Loki show yet. I need to go back and watch that.
Oh my god!
I heard it was really good.
It's beautiful. It's great. You will see, like, okay, yeah, Loki is the most narcissistic motherfucker in the galaxy because he falls in love with himself, and it's hilarious. It's like, spoiler alert! It's the female Loki and the motherfucker. He falls in love with her.
Okay.
Because he only can love him. You know what I mean? Like, he's that in love with himself that he only can love him. But the She-Hulk show is dope. It was horrible the first 4 episodes. I couldn't stand it. When I saw Megan Thee Stallion twerking, I was about to die. I was like, me and Wayne, we did a whole episode about, well, we just talked about it, like how they keep trying to add in black culture into movies and TV shows, and they appropriating it, trying to give us a shout out, but it always comes off as cringy and disrespectful.
Right.
Because you're going to put us in a TV show where you're going to have us twerking. Why are we twerking? What the fuck's going on? Why is She-Hulk twerking out here in these streets?
And someone not in the black community, clearly, I have to agree, man. Like, I have black family and I have black friends, and I know that they feel the same way about that. You know, there's better ways to get a message out there or to be inclusive and to have that diversity in pop culture. But you like you said, it's a bunch of, and this will segue into Kanye. It's a bunch of old white guys of a particular creed that are, you know, the executive producers and stuff on this stuff, and they don't know how to insert it properly, and so it just comes out being cringy and disrespectful, like you said.
Yeah,
and I hate that. That's why I don't want to watch it. I'm like, it's not going to be good. I mean, what was the last like really good movie or series that like talked about black culture and represented it in such a way that wasn't disrespectful but was also honest and true? Like, do y'all know? I'm trying to think of something.
Atlanta, and that was
the TV show Atlanta.
Yeah, I think that's also Abbott Elementary, which is not really about black people. It's about inner city. Teachers.
Right. Yeah, I watched an episode of that. It was kind of cringy. I think it's just because it's on cable television. You know,
we loved it. I love it. I love that show. I feel like as a person, and you, I mean, I know, Kyle, you went to like, did you went to school, you know, like here, or did you grow up somewhere else?
In the Dallas area. Yeah,
in the Dallas area. So you was in the
suburbs.
suburbs, right? So me and you have a different experience with school. So when I went to like an inner city school, it was like that, like limited books. Like there was one computer and motherfuckers had to take turns. Like you know, like learning. I told my dad I was the typing class and he called me gay. Like, damn. I was looking at him like, huh? He was like, oh, you typing like a woman. What does that mean?
Hey, I had to take typing class too.
That's what I'm saying. So it's just like,
y'all thought it was mandatory, man.
It was, but it was just a different experience, you know.
It is. Yeah, they don't do it anymore. The kids know how to type when they're 4 years old.
Yeah. I mean, so you know, I'm a free lunch baby. I know, Kyle, you probably is too.
I had there were years where I got free lunch and years where I didn't, just because the threshold changed, and sometimes mom made more money, sometimes my mom made almost the same amount of money my whole life, but they changed the threshold, and she was always right on that, you know. So I was actually jealous of the kids who got free lunch, because I felt bad that my mom had to pay for me to get lunch, you know, because I knew my mom like wasn't super well off, but whether or not like your parents are super well off or not, like you can feel the economic hardship from your family, from your parents, like when you're a kid, whether they talk to you about it or not, like you just know, right?
Yep.
And like my mom and stepdad were in the home building industry in 2008 when the housing bubble.
Damn. Yeah.
And dude, like I was rough. Like I started to eat less and like do like not ask them for money to like hang out with my friends and stuff, because like I could feel from them what it was doing, like what their situation was, right? They never talked to me about it, you know, but I as a kid, you can pick up on that stuff, right? You know, I never went without, but I could feel that how much it was hurting them, you know? And so that kind of rubs off on kids, and I'm sure you've experienced the same thing as well, but I was actually jealous of the kids who got free lunch, because my mom had to pay for my lunch every day, or, you know, make me lunch or whatever. So I just felt bad. And it was kind of like cool to get like school lunch, you know, when I was a kid.
Right. Yeah.
Because like, you know, they had like Tuesday was pizza day. And like, then you got like the French toast sticks for breakfast and all that good shit. You know what I mean? Like,
I hate when they were hard.
I'm eating like a Lunchable and I'm like, this is gay. And they're like, eating like good pizza and shit. Yeah.
Yo,
the
man,
square
Lunchables
pizza
are
and shit.
always clutch, man. Yeah, the square pizzas, the rectangle.
Dude, they don't do it
With the little
anymore, man.
pepperonis. Oh, you could buy those
Yeah.
little pepperonis on Amazon. Because I was looking for them. I was like,
Oh,
where the fuck
shit.
are the little, you can find them shits on Amazon. The little pepperonis.
Hell
Bro,
yeah, dude.
Those, it's not pepperonis. I don't know what the fuck it is. But it tastes,
Mystery meat on the pizza.
yeah, but it tastes like pepperonis more than pepperonis tastes like pepperonis. I don't give a fuck.
Exactly,
what
dude. Exactly.
But like, whatever the fuck we was talking about, school. Abbott Elementary, I think that's why it's a good show to me, because it's like I've had teachers that didn't give a fuck about nothing, and then I had teachers that really cared a lot, and they didn't have all the resources available, but they cared, and I think that's what that show is. But that's how you do, like, that's how you can kind of tell like a story of like, even though it's not a black story, it's a story of like, you know, urban communities. You can tell black stories correctly, but the main thing you got to do is have black people involved in it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
To tell, like,
I think black writers are important, you know?
Yeah.
That's kind of where it starts. You got to have, and not like the super like affluent black writers that have always been in like Hollywood or things like
cats
that.
wrote for like Bill Cosby and shit. Nah, we need
Like they don't know, you know, they don't really know. They can have an idea, but if you have someone who's lived it and came up and is now writing, I think that's the best way to approach those types of things. And even I think there's a famous interview of, I think it's not Denzel. Is it Denzel Washington? Where it was a movie he directed, or maybe he starred in it. And the interviewer was like, how do you feel like that this was a movie that was directed by a black man? Couldn't it not have been directed by a white man? And he's, first of all, was like, stop talking about race. It's not important, but it's about the experience, right? It's not a black or white thing. It's about the experience that this story is trying to tell. And that's why it's important for this guy to be the director, because he's had the experience that we're trying to, of the story we're trying to tell. And that's all it comes down to. Like, and I know Denzel's a big guy who's like, stop talking about it, right? Just, and it is what it is. But I think it's still important to recognize the different experiences that people have, right? Like if
I totally agree.
If Jimmy, you tried to tell my life story in a movie and direct it, you'd probably butcher it. And if I tried to tell your life story in a movie as a director, I'd probably fuck it up real bad, you know? But because that's just how it is, right? We don't have the same experiences. Now I can understand your story if you tell it to me the right way, and you can understand mine, but I can't just take you and try to, you know, tell other people what your story is, right?
Mm-hmm. That's the problem.
Someone with the experience. But I'm sure Wayne could take your story and do a pretty good job of telling it to other people in that kind of in a creative way, right?
Well,
and vice
Wayne's
versa.
a writer, and he's a good
that's
writer.
awesome.
So Wayne could tell both of our stories, you know?
Okay, yeah.
Which is cool, but I feel like if you have, he would need to have you involved to explain your story, and me as well.
Exactly.
You know, and if you have people involved that's going through it, that just helps. Like something that Wayne told me before, the reason why, I don't know if you ever heard Illmatic by Nas, is Nas' first album.
Maybe.
Nas,
I'm sure I've heard stuff.
His first album was universally seen as one of the best albums ever made. Probably like top 5 of all time. I'm talking about like rock.
And this is the OG Nas, not Lil Nas.
No.
Yeah, no.
This is like,
Dude, I feel like there's got to be some sort of copyright issue there with Lil Nas and Nas.
well, he put Little Nas and X in it, so it's just like he kind of, you know, skated. But if he came out as his name to me and Nas, no. But Nas, the original Nasir, his first album was a classic. His second album is not seen as that, and it's like he told his whole story for 16 years, because he wrote the album when he was 16 and you know, released it when he was like 17. So he had a whole 16 years to talk about. That next album was like only like a year. He was only talking about a year. So like, imagine that. Like when you start to have silk robes and silk bed sheets, it's hard to get up in the morning and fucking go and run out and work out. You know, that was actually a boxer that said that. You know what I'm saying? So that's what, I know we're still talking about She-Hulk, but that's what She-Hulk was like. But at the end, I feel like the end of it breaks down a lot of our social issues that we have as a society. And the fact that we let Twitter and Instagram and Fox News and CNN and MSNBC dictate how we view everyone else without having conversations with